The FIA has just dropped a bombshell that will reshape the future of F1 racing. The modern F1 cars, resembling giants on the track, are about to undergo a jaw-dropping transformation. Forget the bulky machines currently dominating the circuit. We're talking about returning to the sleek and nimble beasts that legends like Ayrton, Senna and Michael Schumacher once tamed. The FIA's plans for the 2026 cars promise to revive the essence of what made F1 legendary. So, let's dive into the video to explore how these game-changing designs will bring back the glory days of Formula One racing. Formula One has exploded in the last decade, captivating more fans than ever. But here's the kicker: despite the sport's rising popularity, it's not necessarily at its peak. Sure, as a fan, there's plenty to appreciate right now. More races, decent coverage, and a competitive 2023 season if you overlook Max Verstappen's dominance. However, talk to an older fan and they'll reminisce about the pre-millennium F1 cars. Those beasts were something else. They had the most incredible sound, powered by V10 or V12 engines that revved up to 20,000 RPM. But it's not just about the roar. Over the last 20 years, F1 cars have morphed, becoming tech-loaded and safety-packed. They've grown in size and weight. Today's cars are almost double the weight of those from 30 years ago. The evolution of F1 cars. From agile racers to behemoths, those old F1 cars, they were nimble, almost like go-karts, enabling thrilling overtakes nearly anywhere on the track. Compare that to today's cars. They're huge, resembling pickup trucks in size. Imagine a car about 20% larger than a Ford Galaxy, or a behemoth, measuring 5.6 meters long and 2 meters wide. They're massive even before the driver hops in. These modern beasts weigh around 800 kg before a driver even steps in. Their size and weight make darting moves down the inside, like squeezing a truck through tight city streets. Unlike the nimble old cars, overtaking in today's F1 often involves straight-line drag races thanks to DRS. The lack of exciting overtakes has been a sore spot for fans, and the governing body, the FIA, is finally taking notice. The car's size is a huge issue. Lighter and smaller cars would make wheel-to-wheel battles easier. But it's not just the size, aerodynamics play a part too. Discussions about changing the current technical regulations have been buzzing around in the quest for more exciting races. The introduction of ground effect cars in 2022 aimed to spice up racing, but there's still room for improvement. Many enthusiasts are eager for changes sooner rather than later. The 2022 ground effect cars were intended to inspire closer wheel-to-wheel racing with regular passing maneuvers. However, FIA technical boss Nicolas Tombazis concedes that the cars fell short of expectations in 2023. Overtaking became trickier due to increased dirty air to the rear of the cars. Tombazis reveals the teams found ways around the intention of the aerodynamic regulations. We didn't close some loopholes quickly enough, especially in the front wing and plate area and the front brake scoops. While the turbulence is less severe than with the 2021 cars, Tombazis delivers the bad news that the FIA won't attempt to close those loopholes now. With only 2 more seasons until new rules debut in 2026, revisiting the decision-making process is deemed impractical. He emphasizes, "We can only do better for 2026. Similar challenges apply to the floor of the cars. Suggestions to make them a standard part faced team resistance, but Tombazis assures simplifications for 2026. Looking ahead to 2026, the anticipation of change. As we eagerly await the Christmas release of a 3-hour video on the complete history of Formula One, details of changes for 2026 are starting to emerge. Central to these changes are new power unit regulations, which were announced years ago. However, it's not just the engines getting a facelift. There will be major car revisions. Tombazis acknowledges one of the biggest complaints about current cars: their weight. He points out that their heaviness makes them less responsive and puts extra strain on tires, which are crucial to the spectacle. At present, F1 drivers find themselves holding back on extracting the maximum performance from their cars. The reason? The tires can't handle it, risking disintegration after just 1 lap of intense pushing. Nicolas Tombazis, head of single-seaters at the governing body, emphasizes this challenge, stating, The basic layout of an F1 2026 car is defined and will differ significantly from what we have now. In the pursuit of improved racing dynamics, the FIA plans to overhaul the size and weight of F1 cars for 2026. Tombazis details the changes, stating, "The cars will be shorter, with a trimmed wheelbase down to 3,400 mm from the current maximum of 3,600 mm. They will also be narrower by 10 cm, reducing from 2,000 mm to 1,900 mm. Around 20 cm off the length and 10 cm off the width might not sound like much, but it will have a huge impact on the weight of the cars. We aim to have a significantly lower weight limit, reducing it by 40 to 50 kilos in 2026, Tombazis adds. The goal is what they term the nimble car concept, addressing concerns that recent cars have become too bulky and heavy. The smaller dimensions inherently reduce weight and contribute to another crucial factor, downforce. Tombazis simplifies: force equals mass multiplied by acceleration. Reduce the mass and you reduce the force. Less force applied to parts means you can reduce the strength and, therefore, weight of certain parts, ultimately reducing the overall weight of the cars. The role of wheel size in weight reduction. To reduce weight, Formula One is set to transition from 18-inch to 16-inch wheel rims, as revealed by Nicholas Tombazis. The shift aims for a nimble and dynamic driving experience, aligning with F1's strategy to significantly lower car weight. The upcoming 3-hour video on the history of Formula One, scheduled for release during the Christmas holidays, promises to delve into these transformations. However, challenges in F1 extend beyond size and weight. The impact of a leading car on the downforce of a following car, known as dirty air, significantly affects traceability. Dirty air disrupts the ideal airflow, creating vortexes and non-uniform flow patterns. This reduces downforce, making braking and cornering challenging for following cars. The weight of current F1 cars exacerbates the issue, causing tires to slide more and degrading lap times. Fans yearn for constant on-track battles, not a lineup spaced 2 seconds apart. Acknowledging this, the FIA is determined to address challenges and create a captivating racing spectacle for fans. In the 2026 changes, the FIA seeks to strike a balance, emphasizing strategic maneuvering over drag racing. Tombazis assured that the goal is to evolve the aerodynamic concept, incorporating ground effect to enable effective car following. Simulations indicate lap times won't dramatically increase, with Tombazis stating, "It's going to be very close to now. I think we'll be within a few seconds or something like that." The focus is on creating a more dynamic and engaging racing experience in the coming years. 2026 cars, evolution in appearance with significant technical changes. Tombazis delves into the aesthetics of the 2026 cars, assuring fans that despite technical changes, they will unmistakably look like F1 cars. While experts may spot the differences, he quashes any doubt about the essence of F1 cars being compromised, saying, "Don't worry, when the new cars are revealed, I'll make sure to point out everything you might have missed." A notable change in the 2026 cars is the incorporation of more movable aerodynamics to reduce downforce on straights. Tombazis clarifies that movable aero includes features like the drag reduction system, DRS, from current cars and acknowledges the potential challenges movable components introduce. He mentions movable aero is any aero impacting surface of the car that moves. DRS, a familiar mechanism for overtaking, is set to evolve in the 2026 regulations. Tombazis reveals that the FIA is considering various ideas to provide overtaking opportunities. He states, "There will be something equivalent to the current DRS, enabling the following car within a certain limit to potentially get in a position to attack." He emphasizes the need for strategic racing, saying, "What we don't want is cars driving past each other on the straight. We want cars arriving close to each other at the braking point, and there is a fight, with drivers having to use their skill." With the changes, the FIA aims to shift the focus from top speed to racing dynamics. Tombazis intends to make the sport less about who has the best car and more about who drove the best race. He acknowledges the common fan sentiment, stating, "Driver skill has less of an impact on the outcome of a race than it has done in the past," debunking worries about battery performance. Addressing earlier team concerns, Tombazis dismisses worries about potential issues with the power unit output for the 2026 cars. He clarifies that the initial concerns were based on early simulation models and assures that the FIA has found solutions. Cars won't be reaching top speed in the middle of the straight and then degrading, he states, putting to rest fears of drivers having to lift and coast due to a lack of electrical energy. Concluding his remarks, Tombazis expresses excitement about the upcoming changes, stating, "I'm excited about everything I heard." He highlights the positive direction Formula One is taking with a return to its roots, emphasizing a balance between car performance and driver skill. "The needle tipping more towards driver skill is fantastic news," he concludes, echoing the sentiment that aligns with what fans have been yearning for in the sport. So, what do you think of the game-changing twist in Formula One for 2026 cars? Comment below and subscribe for more.